We're here tonight at our 6th annual ThanksLansing event, and it's really an opportunity to give thanks to our great city of Lansing for being so welcoming and enjoy the vast diversity that we have here in our city with people that work in our organization, support our organization, participate in programs in our organization, and are simply friends and family of the RDC. So tonight, one of the most important things that we're celebrating is the Refugee Development Project, and it was an opportunity to share stories of refugees who have resettled in our community over the last 40 years and are now thriving and successful and deeply rooted in the Lansing community. So 24 people came together, 12 writers and 12 photographers, to get to know refugee families who are here and tell their story in a way that could help people who don't understand the diversity of refugees in our community and make sure that they are aware and know and celebrate the community that we have here. You can see behind me all of the poster boards that represent the 12 families that we asked to be part of this project, and they were grateful to participate. Just a brief overview of the RDC. The Refugee Development Center has been around since 2002, and we are an independent nonprofit that really started as an opportunity to fill a gap in services in our community. The Lansing area has been a resettlement city since the early 80s, which means that we welcome refugees. Usually around 500 refugees every year come to our great city and make a home here, and our job is to help ease that transition and ensure that folks are able to be successful and thrive for the long term. So we have a very robust volunteer program. We welcome volunteers. So if you were interested, you could go to rdclansing.org and check out our website for volunteer opportunities, and there's actually a sign-up form right there. So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight. What a wonderful crowd. So I'm Erica Brown Binion. I'm the director at the Refugee Development Center, and we are so excited to share with you our 6th annual, I cannot believe it's been 6 years, ThanksLansing event tonight. So thank you for being here. We have a lot of great things to share with you. So tonight's really a special night for us. It's an opportunity for us all to gather and break bread like you are doing and celebrate the welcoming community that we have here in Lansing. The RDC is a place of hope and dreams wrapped in a spirit of welcome. Our country is facing difficult times right now when it comes to refugee resettlement. Current policy has shut its doors on the most vulnerable. Current policy this year has set the ceiling of refugee resettlement at only 18,000. And to put that into perspective a little bit, for the last 40 years, in bipartisan support, the United States has welcomed about 100,000 refugees every single year. 18,000 is literally shutting the doors and saying no more. And we're not going to stand for that. I want you to know that. We are making sure that people understand what that 18,000 number really means. And what it really means is a zero. So take that information with you. We hope all of you can be advocates to share the importance of refugee resettlement, share the fact that refugees have been welcomed in our country for over 40 years, and it has always been a bipartisan effort. And our city and our state and our country is more vibrant and strong and wonderful because we have refugees here. So refugees are welcome, spread that word, and let's make sure that that number 18,000 goes up next year. And even we have the opportunity to make that change throughout this year. Our voices need to be heard. I also want to call out a couple staff to give a special thanks to a really big project that we worked on this year. We had the opportunity to work on a life skills curriculum and video project where we designed the content and the script and the roles, and we had a videographer, and I can't tell you how difficult that project was, but the outcome has been incredible. And I want to give a special thanks to Anna Lee. Anna Lee wrote the script for every single video that you see, and she really managed the entire project. And it is incredible. I really encourage you to go on the website and check it out. But I want to give a special thanks to Anna Lee for putting that together and making sure that the final product was really, really stellar. So check that out. And I want to give us another special thanks to Mung, who is standing by the camera, fittingly at the back, because he is a videographer, and he did all the behind the scenes editing and things that I don't know anything about. He did it, and it's incredible. So thank you, Mung, for all the work that you did putting into that project. And a special thank you to the Lansing Public Media Center for helping host this event tonight. This is our 5th year in this building, and we're really grateful to have that partnership. So thank you there. And I would like to now invite Representative Sarah Anthony to say a few words. We're so grateful that you can be here. She's from Michigan's 68th House District, and we are honored to have you here today. We're really grateful for all the work that you do to help uplift our city and our state, and thanks for being here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll hand it over to you. Be
All
careful,
right.
the microphone it goes up and down.
Up and down. Hello. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for everything that you do, for the volunteers who put this together, for all of the different partners and restaurants. So my name is Sarah, and I serve as state representative. Oh, hi, Jeremy. Hey. Oh, hey, Dawn. I don't have my glasses on, so I kind of see shadows of people, but a lot of good friends. I have the honor of serving as state representative for Lansing and Lansing Township. And next week is my 1-year anniversary working in that capital. And so I've been doing a lot of reflecting on this job and the work that I am able to do. And even on my most frustrating days at the Capitol, when it doesn't seem like we're doing a lot of good things, the fact that I am from a community like Lansing that not only talks the talk, but walks the walk in terms of being inclusive, making sure that regardless of where you're from, who you are, where your parents were from, who you love, any of those types of things, that you belong in this space. And that whether it's government or business or nonprofits or the faith community, you can find, I like to call it your tribe. Your family can be right here in Lansing. And so sometimes politics gets to be very divisive. We have folks at the national level and at the state level who I feel like just wake up every day thinking about ways to divide us and thinking about nasty things to say and do to make our country and our community not welcoming. And so a part of my charge and my job and a part of the work of the Refugee Development Center is to make sure people know that they belong right here. And so I will continue to use my voice and everything that I have inside of me to make sure that you all know, and the folks that are served by this amazing organization know, that you belong here. And we will do everything we can do to make sure that you actually feel it, and that our systems and our government are designed to make sure that that happens. So I'm hungry, so I'm going to go get some food. And it all smells and looks amazing. But thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and love Lansing, and I love you, and I will be with you and for you every step of the way in this journey and whatever else life takes me. So thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful to have you here. Your words are always inspiring every time I hear them. Another thing that we wanted to do tonight is to make sure that we honor the many writers and photographers and participants that were part of this amazing Refuge Lansing portrait project. So you see it framed around the room for a reason. And it has been transformative in our community, and we're really, really grateful. I went back and looked today at the list. We keep a list of all the places that this has traveled around to, and it's not just the RDC. This was a joint project with 24 writers and photographers and the 4 agencies that work with refugees in our community. So St. Vincent Catholic Charities, and I see Judy's here today. I want to invite you up here as well in a few minutes, who has been part of this project. The Global Institute of Lansing, who works with students as they try to complete high school who have aged out of our traditional public school system, and then Samaritas, who does resettlement for unaccompanied refugee minors. And St. Vincent, I mentioned, is our resettlement agency in our community. Without St. Vincent, we would not be resettling refugees. So we're so grateful to have Judy here today, and she'll share a few words in just a moment. But I wanted to, I started that with saying I looked at the places that we have visited, and sometimes St. Vincent goes and sometimes we go, and between the 4 agencies, we have visited over 166 locations this exhibit has traveled around to in those 2 years, which is incredible because every time we have the opportunity to share this exhibit, we are introducing refugees to people who have never met refugees, and that's really important. So I'd like to invite Judy up to say a few words, and I'd also like to invite up all of the artists, the photographers, the writers who are here today that were part of Refuge Lansing. Could you, I'm going to embarrass you, yes, please come up here. We'd like to thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Judy to say a few words about your services and also the impact of this project. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. This is such a beautiful event, and we're so happy to be here and so happy to be part of honoring RDC as well, because we are so happy that every refugee that comes in, we know that we can refer them over to RDC, and they're going to be so well taken care of and loved and educated and given all the best professional, excellent services. So we love that. I want to tag on to something that Erica was talking about, the new political issues that are happening and the reduction in the number of refugees that are coming. One other piece of that that came out with the presidential determination is that now places that resettle refugees have to provide an official consent to the federal government saying, yes, we will resettle refugees. And this has to come from the governors and from localities like mayors. We're not really sure exactly who's supposed to sign all of this yet. That's still being worked out. But the first thing anybody says is we're not worried about Lansing. We know Lansing is going to always accept refugees because this is an incredibly welcoming place. But part of the reason it's so welcoming is because we tell stories of refugees and projects like Refuge Lansing and all the places that we've been to talk about refugees. This has opened the door to places we would never have been able to get into, to say this is who a refugee is and this is what they bring to us and this is why we do this and this is why it's so excellent. Without Refuge Lansing, all those 166 places, they would still be getting their information from the news, and not always good news. So it's really excellent that we have documentation and photos and people that we could share their lives so people really understand what it is that we're doing. And it's worked. And I think that was the idea when this started, is what can we do to make the situation better? And now it's proof that it's made the situation better, because now we know that this project has a direct relationship with whether or not refugees are going to still come to the Lansing area. So thank you all very much. Thank you to RDC and to Refuge Lansing.
Thank you, Judy. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And now, can you all come up here so they can see who we're talking about? I'd love for you to come to the stage. And Judy, stay up here too. The time and energy that all of these folks put into making this project so professionally done and so well received, it just wouldn't have happened without this great talent and without your time and your energy and your dedication and the care that you put in to each of these stories. It's tricky for us to engage in projects like this sometimes because it can be exploitive. And I can't say enough about the care that each one of you took into getting to know the families that you encountered. Some of you became good friends with these families, and it has lasted a lifetime, and it continues. And that's really very special to all of us and to the folks that participated. But the so many people that have encountered this project, it's a ripple effect, and it carries on, and it hasn't stopped. It is still, in fact, I just talked to someone today who wanted to book it for a couple months ahead. So it's booked all the time. We work with Judy and Paula and Michelle to coordinate services because we don't have Jane anymore. And I know, Jeremy, you said don't call everyone out, but Jane dedicated an entire year of coordinating this project to go set it up, to find new locations, to confirm locations, to set it up with the agencies. And that time was, we can't thank you enough. We can't replicate that work. So thank you, Jane, for doing that. Yeah.
Just real quick, I just wanted to point out that, one, to thank you for the opportunity to do this project, to thank all the 27 volunteers we had that created this, all the participants who told their stories at a time. If you remember, when we started this project, it was 2016 when there was a Muslim ban that our current president was trying to pass through as law.
It's in place.
Right. And people were scared. And we had 12 families that were brave enough to come forward and share their stories. But I also want to point out that this is proof of how arts and storytelling can have an impact on people's lives. Right? That it's important to support the arts and just to tell stories. That's all. Thank you.
Jeremy. Thank you for all you did.
Tonight, I want to read a poem that really comes from parts of two different poems by wonderful poets from the UK, poets who are themselves refugees. One, it comes from the poem Home by Warsanshire and the poem We Refugees by Benjamin Zephaniah. No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well, your neighbors running faster than you, breath bloody in their throats. The boy you went to school with, who kissed you dizzy behind the old tin factory, is holding a gun bigger than his body. You only leave home when home won't let you stay. You have to understand that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled mean something more than journey. No one crawls under fences. No one wants to be beaten. No one chooses refugee camps or prison unless prison is safer than a city of fire. No one could take it. No one could stomach it. No one's skin would be tough enough. You see, we can all be refugees. Nobody is safe. All it takes is a mad leader or no rain to bring forth food. We can all be refugees. We can all be told to go. We can all be hated by someone for being someone. We can all be refugees. Sometimes it only takes a day. Sometimes it only takes a handshake or a paper that is signed. We all came from refugees. Nobody simply just appeared. Nobody's here without a struggle. We all came from somewhere.
Thank you so much, Rula. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Rulaine. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. A couple more things that I want to say, and then I promise I will stop talking. I want to point out all of the tables that are around the room here today. We have Roxanne, who was also part of this refuge project. You saw her up here a minute ago, who's taking family portraits behind this screen. So not everybody probably knows it's there, but please, it doesn't have to be traditional family, friends, just one of you. You can do individual portraits, but please come and sign up and get your portrait taken, and we will get that back out to you. We also have henna artists over here. Thank you to our henna artists for dedicating your time tonight, but come over and get some henna done. We have a table of StoryCorps, and they from the Michigan History Museum, and they're sharing information about how to get involved with StoryCorps, so check that out. We also have a table about the 2020 census coming up, which is really, really important for all of you to participate in. Every person who does not participate in the 2020 census costs our community about $1,800 for 10 years. So that's $18,000 per person that does not fill out the census. It's just a count. It is not going to ask the citizenship question. It's a safe thing to do, and it's actually really important for our community to fill it out. And then in the very back, we have thank you to the Zomi community of Lansing for bringing some really incredible artifacts to share with us. Please visit that table, and thank you so much to the Zomi community for being here tonight and bringing such wonderful artifacts for us to learn about. And last, it would be unfair of me as a mother to not say happy birthday to my baby girl who's 10 today. So happy birthday, Sage, my 10-year-old. So one of the things we really wanted to share with you is our census table. We are making a great effort to ensure that every single person in the city of Lansing and really in our Tri-County region is counted because it's so important to Lansing. And Meg here is kind of helping out at this table to make sure that folks get to know about the census. So I'm going to hand it over to Meg, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what you see here at this table.
Thank you. So my main goal for the evening is to educate as many people as possible about the census and let them know that they don't have to be afraid to fill it out, that all of the information is confidential, and the more people fill out the census, the more money the government will give for social programs. So better nutritional lunches in schools, better roads, hospitals, and things like that. So we're asking everyone who stops by the booth to fill out this card, a pledge to fill out the census on April 1st, 2020. And there is a small list of facts on it as well, quick information that people might want to know.
So this is our community art project. It's giant coloring pages of mandalas, or these beautiful designs that people can make together that are really bright and colorful and show how many pieces come together as one. So we're asking everyone to come in and maybe draw a little something on our sheets or add some glitter. We have some glam rock going on here, little teary, glittery mess that's really beautiful. And I'm hoping everybody just brings who they are and adds a little something to our sheets. I have created a life skills curriculum. We're going to be doing little classes once a month with Lansing refugee teens and young adults. And we'll be learning things from various teachers all over Lansing. So we're going to go learn about the library and get our library cards. We're going to learn about Day of the Dead and make some sugar skulls. And my favorite, the poetry room. In Rio Town, we're going to be poets and learn how to get on stage and talk about how amazing we are. You should get involved. If you haven't heard of RDC, look it up. Come and meet us. Come to one of our events. It's all the best people you can imagine, and food.
Well, I am here representing the Michigan History Center. The Michigan History Center is in downtown Lansing on Kalamazoo Street. In our building, we have the State History Museum, Michigan History Museum, and the Archives of Michigan. But really what I'm here to talk about tonight is a really exciting project that we've recently started, and that is a partnership with StoryCorps. StoryCorps is a national nonprofit, and they go around the country collecting conversations between two people who know each other. And the reason that they do this is to preserve the voices for future generations, but also just to create a culture of listening and to encourage people to learn from each other and really recognize the importance of sharing stories with each other. So the Michigan History Center is now a StoryCorps collection location, meaning that people can work with us right here in Michigan to have their conversation recorded and preserved. And when they do that, the really cool part is that their interview is archived at the Library of Congress in the American Folklife Center, and it's also archived right here in Michigan at the Archives of Michigan. So I'm just out here telling people about the project and trying to find people who would like to share their story and have their voice preserved. So right now I am serving as the coordinator for the StoryCorps project. So if someone decides that they are interested, they should reach out to me. My email address is gross, GROSSS3 @michigan.gov, and I will get back to you right away to help you schedule your interview.
This is our 6th annual ThanksLansing. It's like Thanksgiving, but with much better food and none of the awkward conversation. I've been involved with the Refugee Development Center since 2014 when I started volunteering at an after-school program. And then from there I got addicted and I just started volunteering in all the programs and then interning, and then I was hired here in 2017 and it's been great.
All right, well, this was an amazing event. I look forward to it every year, essentially because I am a member of the refugee community myself. I'm from Somalia. I love the food and the entertainment. I used to work at the RDC, so it has a soft spot in my heart.
It's an incredible event. It's just near and dear to my heart. Having been an international student at 18 under a dictatorship that we put in power, at 61 I'm still finding ways in which to help those people who need help because of politicians and bad people.
I work with the RDC. I'm a social worker, but my role at ThanksLansing for the last couple of years has been receiving food and labeling and getting the food out on the table, making sure there's enough, making sure it looks nice, talking to people about the food, and really just making sure that we have enough food and it's good and it's clean. We probably get food from 15 different local businesses, and probably 30 to 40 families or individuals will bring us food. Back in the kitchen, we definitely taste test and make sure everything is good. Most of the dishes that are here are ethnic dishes, cultural dishes, so dishes from different places of the world, but made with ingredients that you can find here. We typically expect 100, 200, 300 people. It really depends on the weather and on what people are doing, but we typically prepare for about 200 people.
Oh, I like the chickens and rice. Yeah.
I love the chicken too. Tonight was so good. I loved the food, people. That was so amazing. And
yeah. We enjoyed the day. It was so good to meet new people here from side to side, new tribes.
So I want to say thank you to RDC because they helped me, because I'm not from here. I'm an immigrant, and they helped me prove up like my English, all that stuff, school, after schools, all that stuff. Even now, I feel like I'm working with them maybe in life. So I just want to say thank you to them. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, the same thing.
So I'm so grateful for everyone who was here tonight. It was remarkable attendance, and thank you so much to the Lansing Public Media Center for hosting this event. To get more information about the RDC, please visit our website, rdclansing.org. You can find out about ways to get involved in volunteering or in some of our programs, and there's lots of great stories in there. So check it out, and thanks for having us. This has been just a wonderful night.